Hi. Well, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be part of this journey. So I'll just introduce myself briefly. I've been at Harvard CI in the TDSB since 2017 as an ACL, but I've been in the TDSB since 2007 at different schools: A.Y. Jackson, George S. Henry, Riverdale, Oakwood. I'm originally from France, as you may hear from the accent. And I did my first degree in France. Then I did an MBA in Australia and moved to Dubai to work in operations, marketing, and worked with brands like Microsoft, Cisco, and Intel, and did some certifications myself there, especially with the Cisco and some of the Microsoft. I moved to Canada in '99 and kept working in the IT and tech world. Then started my own business, and I became a teacher in 2007. I've been teaching business in English and in French, and in the last few years, also when I have to, I teach French, but my preference lies with business because I have the business background. I can really bring it into my teaching. So I will tell you my journey with certifications with CCI Learning. I was very excited when I got invited to my first meeting with CCI Learning a few years ago, and then worked through kinks and the TDSB IT setups to finally make it work. So you can, I'll show you the 3 dimensions. If you can change the slide, please. So I've been trying to do the certifications for a few years, but then I was moved to French. So it was finally, actually, with COVID, everything moved online. So it actually precipitated the ability that we had to do certification with students. So there are 3 ways that I have used certifications, and that kind of has been my vision and passion, because I saw that certifications was the way to give students actual practical skills, which, they get a high school degree and, that's fine. But to be able to walk out there and have a Microsoft certified like certifications is huge, because I've been in business. I know that's what employers are looking for, and that's to prove that you can actually do something. You don't just put it on your resume, you prove it, you have a badge, you can even put it on LinkedIn to prove that you have that certification. So I did that in 3 different ways. Started a business club online, which I thought was not going to work, but it did. And it was student-led, and that was the key, in that they chose pathways, they organized meetings, and they did all of that. Then I integrated it in the curriculum, and because I'm also the lead for Schism and the head of CoOp with business as well, I aligned it with Schism and CoOp. So I will go into each of those in the next 3 slides. So the business club, I was frustrated with the quad system, so I really wanted to find a way to communicate to the entire student body that we had all these wonderful things that we wanted to do. So I started this with a few students who actually approached me. And I said, okay, let's do that. So we created 3 strands. And the first trend was certifications, because I was determined that this was going to happen. I've been working with Catherine, and she's amazing. Anyone who works with her, I mean, Raul and Jessica as well, but I've known Catherine for much longer, and she has been so responsive. And so, I asked so many questions, and she was always patient and explained things really well. So I really attribute a lot of things that I've done to her patience. So thank you, Catherine. So the certification, the students were very excited with it, which I was a bit surprised, because you think, 15, 16-year-olds, they don't necessarily see the value, but they did. So I had some students who became serial certifiers. Once they took one, they just, okay, miss, can we do another one? Can we do another one? So they created sessions, and they posted on Instagram as well to tell other students about it. They created a slide deck, and they even did one-on-one coaching with some other students. So that was one of the silos I did. We also had 2 other silos: competitions, because that's what we do in business a lot, right? We had 60 students in the club, so we brought everything to all of them, and I had 11 execs, which were all grade 11, so they're all going to be grade 12 this year, and that's going to be interesting to see, and we're making sure that it continues. So I'm forming students to lead this, and learning opportunities, anything related to training. But throughout this, what came very clear is the big draw and the big pool was the Microsoft certifications. And yeah, and I will go to the next. So when I started doing the certification online, we actually did 60 really quickly. And I have to say the biggest thing with this and in the business club, the biggest fear for students was the fear to fail. And that was huge because they're not used to failing. And I really felt that I had to convince them that it was okay to fail. And they always laugh because I failed my first certification, my Excel, and I just failed it. And I was like, that's okay. No one will know. I won't laugh at you. I will know, yes, but I will not publish that. And then if you fail, you take it again. But there are many steps in place for students to be prepared. That's what I did in my class. So if you can move to the next slide, please. So what I decided to do was to integrate the certification in my curriculum. So there's the last quad where I was teaching accounting grade 11 and marketing grade 11. And so the previous year, so yes, last year. So students, sorry, it's blocking my view. Students really improved their communication skills. So I told students, I said, you know what, we're all going to work with this. And it was great that students who were looking for extra things were able to focus on that. And students who were otherwise disengaged in many other regards kind of took it as a challenge. I told students and showed them the proof that Excel and accounting were very related. Anyone going into business should really know Excel. And in the TDSB and myself included, over the last couple of years, I've used Google Docs, but I've always been frustrated with the lack of tools and how, in my mind, it's about the Google platform is about 10% of what you can do with the Microsoft platform. So I was thrilled when finally the Microsoft platform was fully available to students and teachers, which has been for a few years, but it wasn't supported. Now it is. Every single student in the board and teacher has access to the full suite of Microsoft products, and they can download it up onto 5 computers at home. So they get the full suite. And really, when you get to the business world, 90% of employers are on the Microsoft platform, not on the Google platform. So I've switched my entire teaching back to Microsoft. And the beauty of that is all I had to do was show them how to link that. And there's a widget, an extension that I could, and that integrated into Excel and into Word. So when we did that, it kind of created an overlay. And then all students, they started with a benchmark. Okay, you think you know Word? Let's see. So it's a 1-hour benchmark where you say, okay, now do this, now do that. And then it customizes lessons to what they don't know. So they can learn that way. And then they practiced a test. And then at the end, they did the certification. So I had them do that in class. So when they were done their work or when they were bored, doing, like you couldn't, like with the length of classes that we had, it was impossible to have them work on something for 3.5 hours. So it kind of broke the rhythm and had them do something else. So I had them work on PowerPoint also, Word, and that's for marketing. There's also a certification that's called Communication Skills for Business, which is great for marketing. So anyway, I took some of the certifications as well myself to see what it was like. For this school year, I've put together kind of a pathway, and I've put it at the bottom here. For BTT, the IC3, which is 3 exams, which many of our students took, is literally the BTT curriculum. So not only can you teach, students can practice on their own time or not, or in class, they have access to it all. And then it's a proof, it's a badge on there. And students get really excited with badges. I was like, I don't know, it's like sticker, but the digital sticker, right? But there's also coding and there's Photoshop. And many students are interested in Photoshop and the Adobe suite. So at the school, I got 380 licenses for Adobe this year, and I'm going to give those to students for those who want it. So I've kind of I did my own alignment of this, and also the math curriculum now has coding in grade 9. So we're going to try to integrate that, which is with Code Adventure. So anyway, there's lots of tools, but I'm doing a big push with curriculum integrated. And of course, we're not going to give them the mark that's with the exam. The exam is a bonus. It's yes, you get your mark, you get your expectations. But guess what? You've already learned this. You might as well go and get the certification. So it's a bonus. And so the last thing that we've done was that's okay. Next slide, please, is Schism and CoOp. So this year I'm teaching CoOp. And I want to make sure that students have something to put on their resumes. Often the students struggle with that. And a way to give them confidence is to have the proof. Often students don't know how strong and how good they are until they actually take the certification. I had a student say, there's no way I'm passing this, miss. And I said, you know what? Humor me. Take it and we'll see. She got like 90% on the word exam. And it's not the easy. You need to know your stuff to do that. And she was a student who was with very low self-confidence, and she did it. I attended a conference from Certiport, the certification body, I think in July or in June, and there was a thing about equity. And it opened my mind because what they were saying is that actually certifications bring equity, because it doesn't matter what school you came from. What matters is you can prove what you do. It's not me, Miss Montarras, saying that you can do this or that. It's Microsoft that says it, and that's kind of an equalizer. So that has really encouraged me to even go further into it. So with Schism as well, the certifications are part of the program. That's that. But frankly, for me, myself, Schism is not the main focus for certifications. I want to really push it on any students who want to do it. And I really want to bring it to the whole school and integrate it with the curriculum. So the next slide I'll just share my process. So there's basically a code that they get so that there's the Jasper Active is integrated into their Microsoft Online, which they can do everywhere. So there's the benchmark that they do, which is kind of a test, and then there's lessons and then a project. So they practice, they learn. They can do that by themselves. You can also customize it. Then there's a practice test that they do on Gmetrics, but I guess they just changed their name. It's another platform where you can actually create assessments if you want. I haven't. I just had them do a test. And in all the certifications, you need 70% to pass. And I would ask that they get 70% on the practice test before they actually do the certification. And once they told me they were interested, I created a special Google Classroom where they would go, and then a Google form to say what exam they wanted to take and what they got. And it was a way for me to manage, and that made it easy because I would do everything from that, and then I would send them a code because we did everything online. Now I have set up labs to be certification labs at my school. But I think right now it's great to be doing the remote, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I think Catherine knows that I'm open to sharing knowledge. And in fact, my students are open to speaking at your schools to share their process as well. So thank you.